Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting a like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from Throwaway 81457 and it asks, am I the arsehole for barely eating any of the cake my girlfriend made for my birthday and refusing to eat anything else she bakes until she apologizes? I've been with my girlfriend for almost 3 years, and we pretty much get along for most things except when it comes to my mother. My mother is mentally slow. I don't know what else to call it, since she grew up pretty rough and was never formally diagnosed, and had me at 13. Her being physically and emotionally younger made her a fun mum, just not very responsible. In any case, this is one of the main reasons my girlfriend feels uncomfortable around my mum, because she says she has no manners and can be rude. Both of which can be true at times, but my mum doesn't do things intentionally. It's just how she was raised, and it's hard to teach her new things. The second reason is that I spent a lot of money for my mum to live in an expensive facility / community, so she can be independent, but still have some help. She thinks it's a waste of money, especially since she wants to be able to buy a big house in the future, and I refuse to pay her medical insurance despite having the money. She's currently on a plan that she can't afford, which she brings up a lot in arguments. She's not my wife, so I don't want to commit to something like that yet, since I'm not sure how that would work, if she ever decided to end the relationship, or if it increased to something I'd rather not pay. I won't lie, I love my girlfriend, but she's not my wife, therefore not a priority, and I've tried proposing twice and been turned down each time. Anyways, I feel like I derailed for a second, but I felt some context was important. This year she decided to make me a cake for my birthday. I was happy because she's a great baker and even better at decorating. So I asked her for a chocolate sheet cake with canned frosting and rainbow sprinkles. She said it was fine but kept suggesting that I have something special and less cheap this year. My mum has made me this birthday cake every year since I was a child, but of course this year she couldn't. But I told her I was sure that's what I wanted. No presents and no people over. When I woke up the morning of my birthday, she had me eat breakfast in the living room because the dining room and kitchen were a mess. I'm not sure if I believe that now, and got me up and out of the house after lunch, telling me it still wasn't ready. And I couldn't see it because she also had a really small surprise as well. I came back an hour later as she asked, and when I opened the door to pretty much everyone we know and even don't know well, except my mum, her parents are there. Leap out and with these blow things. I tried to act happy, but to be honest, I didn't want anyone there at all. If it had just been our families, maybe it would have been nice, but I was secretly annoyed. Then when I saw the cake, it wasn't anything like what I asked for. It was 3 round lemon cream cakes, the naked fancy kind with flowers and berries. It looked incredible, and I could tell it must have taken ages, but it's not what I wanted, and I'm pretty neutral about lemon desserts. Everyone brought gifts and I tried to pretend that I liked them, and I did, but in the moment I just didn't feel like opening and reacting to gifts, so I feel like my reactions were underwhelming. Then it was time to cut the cake. She gave me a big piece. I didn't even finish half of it. I wasn't in the mood. I just lied and said I was too full from eating all her favorite foods. I'll admit that was a bit too blunt, especially since there was company, and she was a little short with me for the rest of the party. Finally, my mum comes, just after everyone finished, and according to my girlfriend, she accidentally told her the wrong time. She brought me a single cupcake just how I like it, as a gift because she couldn't make the cake this year. I was happy, and I couldn't hide it. My girlfriend noticed and kinda gave my mum the stink eye, which is fine as long as she wasn't being rude. But then she took it a step further and just outright made a bad joke about how the cupcake was unique like my mum. She still likes dresses and 2 ponytails. And a few people even laughed. Fast forward to later. I'm eating my cupcake in bed, hoping to end the day on a good note. I didn't complain at all outside of that one comment because I didn't want to seem too ungrateful. But then she says under her breath that, of course, I'd rather eat something that looks like it was made by a toddler than actual quality. That was the last straw for me. We got into a heated argument, so I ended up sleeping on the couch on my own birthday. The next morning, I made it clear that I wasn't going to eat any of her desserts until she apologizes. It's been 3 days. She's told everyone that I hated the party, and now everyone is calling me ungrateful, plus her family found out I don't pay her insurance, And right now, things are on and off tense, and not tense between us. Am I the arsehole here? Edit. Not an update, just wanted to say that I read all the comments and now I'm strongly considering just biting the bullet and saying I don't care, especially since she only knows of both because I told her not to due to actual evidence. It's not just something I wanted to be outed for, metaphorically and literally. But in any case, I guess the statute of limitations in my state would have been passed for me funnily right when we started dating. So at least if things go south, I can finally get the plastic surgery I've always wanted and a new name. Trying to make myself feel angry and not funny though. But it's hard because she always makes me feel sad and then happy again after. But I'm going to tell her we aren't twin flames or anything close anymore, and probably update when I feel better if things get intense. Fortunately, my mum is happy as always, and we talk every day for those wondering. She's so nice. She doesn't always notice when people are being mean, so I won't and would never tell her how my ex-girlfriend truly felt about her if she asks why things are going wrong. Second, another thing that I just wanted to add is that my mum, fortunately, was not a sexual assault victim. The comments thinking that made me irrationally sad for some reason. My father was the same age. I don't know if he had a disability, but he was pretty strange in a good way. Didn't talk much, but he liked drawing the same types of birds and flowers, and they get along well, and she was loved. I just didn't mention him because, well, he's dead. Anyway, sorry. I have a tendency to get long-winded and over-explain, but I'm going to sleep now. Now there's a lot here that goes way beyond the title itself as always, like this goes way beyond the birthday cake. And starting off with disrespecting OP's boundaries to begin with, he said he didn't want a party and it was thrown when he was not asked to. The way that she's trying to exclude and mocking OP's mother at the same time. And then using social pressure to try and make OP look bad when he's standing up for himself. And then of course, the insurance thing, try to control his finances and relationship with his mother, which was strange. That expecting him to pay for her medical insurance after she turned down 2 of his proposals so far. It just felt like, she wanted the financial benefits of marriage, but no commitment, while trying to separate OP from his mother, who needs his support. And coming back to the cake, it felt like it was more of a power play, like OP had a tradition, a meaningful tradition to him with the sheet cake, the sprinkles. It's what he wanted, it's what he liked, it's part of his tradition, but she tried to replace it with a better version, air quotes, better version, then mocked his mother's cupcake which she brought for him and claimed it was made by a toddler. In all honesty, I can't see a way to move past that. But Tipsy Boo says not the arsehole. So what are the positives about this partner who doesn't listen to you, is ableist about your mother with additional needs, is openly disrespectful to your mother in public, expects you to financially support you, but doesn't wish to marry you? Methodical says not the arsehole. I think you're very sweet for trying to help your mum. She's your mum and it sounds like she did the best she could given the circumstances. All of this is massive red flags that this is not a good relationship. I think it's time to end the relationship. Your girlfriend has different priorities than you do. You deserve someone who sympathizes with you and wants to help your mum too. My father-in-law is on his own. My own mum is well off, so not worried about her to the extent of her physical needs needing to be met. However, my father-in-law, we help as much as we can. It was both our idea to help him. We make sure he is fed and taken care of. We make sure he has a roof over his head and a reliable vehicle. Your soon-to-be ex doesn't respect your family or you. It has to be all about her. She thinks she is thinking of you, but she isn't. She has to be the center of attention. OP briefly replied to that saying thank you and that they didn't mind if the girlfriend didn't want to help. They just don't want them to be against OP helping. And a reply to that said, imagine how awesome it works to have a girlfriend who respects the importance of your mum in your life, who likes your mum for who she is and wants to see her safe and comfortable. Who would have your mum over and bake the chocolate cake with canned frosting and sprinkles with your mum, and then all laugh together while you're all having a lovely private party with just your favorite people. That girl is out there. You can have that life. And I think for me, that comment pretty much says it all. But OP added another bit of context before their actual update, which said it was to clear up their last bit of context. It started off, added context because the edit in my original post wasn't clear. I added it in the comments, but in case it's still confusing, it's also here. Since the post is already long, I guess I'll comment instead. Maybe I'm just a terrible writer when I'm tired, but writing this a few hours ago felt like it would make sense. So sorry. To make it make sense, I used to make adult videos mostly with other men, so I don't want anyone to know. Second, I used to scam dates by using their credit card information online to buy textbooks and personal items because I could only really afford it. But it was still bad, and sometimes I wonder if they didn't eat so I could, and it makes me paranoid even if I can't go to jail now. I can still be socially ostracized. And plastic surgery is just that if my social life is ruined, I can buy a new face and name. I was half joking. Also, for those wondering, I didn't mention the reason why my girlfriend rejected my marriage proposal twice is because it sounds really bad to people who don't understand what it's like to live with someone disabled. I love my mother dearly, but in all honesty, I would not want to have children like her. They won't have an easy life. And that's the reason basically she thinks I might pass on bad genes. I'd like to try to have at least one child anyway, because I don't have any disability, so I'm hoping my child would be healthy as well. But I don't think not wanting to adopt or take a chance is a bad reason to reject someone. In any case, I decided to take the coward's way out and leave for work excessively early to avoid her, and I put a breakup note in her lunch bag. I'm expecting to feel awful later, so I think I'll update again when I'm not sad, which takes me a while. And again, I'm sorry for rambling. Another thing I also saw mentioned was reading replies is that twin soul is controversial. And I'm sorry, and I wasn't intentionally being misogynistic. I've seen it used and thought it meant some of the same things as soulmate. We're going to move on to OP's update. And just to add the context that he left a breakup note in her lunch bag. But OP's update said, she read the note and wasn't mad. She just said she wanted to talk things over. But when I get there, she's pretty mad, and because apparently her coworker saw the note and how pathetic leaving a note is. In hindsight, I wasn't thinking and agree. The rest is just a blur. We get into a physical fight, which we've gotten into before, but never this bad, and I ended up breaking my forearm. She was throwing things as I was walking away, and I was crying, so I slipped. Then the ride to the ER was probably the worst I felt in my life. I was still crying while they were still trying to ask me questions, and then they either gave me something or I passed out. Either way, I woke up. She apologized, but I could tell she was still a little mad because she got food and didn't offer me any. After I get discharged, we get home and into another argument, and I get mad and tell her she can leave. Her sister lives less than an hour away, so she'd be fine. Eventually, she agrees to leave, but she left most of her things here. She told me I have 3 days to pack up her stuff so her parents can come get it, which is fair, I guess. I'm wondering if I should pack the ring in it with her stuff because looking at it now is humiliating. Surprisingly, she only made 2 posts about it on social media, and it's only vaguely exposing things I've done. It's not as bad as I thought it would be, and most of my friends felt bad, but a few, her friends first, have blocked me or left me angry texts. Her mum sent a voicemail crying and saying how disappointed they were in me. And honestly, I do feel a little bad for them, because that's their daughter. It must feel sad, but I really just want to leave her stuff outside without talking to them. I haven't told my mum anything yet, because I know she'll worry. I don't have an appetite right now because there's still leftover cake in the fridge, and looking at it just makes me tired. I think I'm going to take a break from dating for a while and work on being happy alone, because right now, all I want to do is call and apologize. But now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? How would you deal with it if you was OP? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from the True Off My Chest subreddit from a deleted user and says, first time I dressed up for a double date and my friend didn't like it. My friend Joel, 20 male, asked me, 21 male, to join him for a double date with Jean, 20 female, and a friend Sam, 19 female. Joel got a date with Jean, but she wanted to make it a double date, as she wanted to introduce Sam to the dating scene in a more friendly kind of way. I agreed to it, but Sam wasn't amused by the idea of me being her date, but agreed because she was happy with just the experience. Why? Well, me and Joel are 2 totally different types of guy. He's the charming and athletic guy, while I'm the chubby and more reserved one. Doesn't help I'm balding this early in life. The times I have met her at university has been while I am wearing the same clothes. I have a set of clothes only for university, sort of like a self-imposed uniform. Every day is different, but I repeat weekly. So yesterday I got my hair cut as low as possible without going into shaving, fixed my beard, and I have to say, I was looking mighty fine. Good man. Got out my brand new clothes. Now today we had our double date after 2 p.m. I arrived late, but only by 5 minutes. Joel was texting me like crazy until I arrived holding a rose for Sam. I'm a bit corny, but I thought it'd be a nice gesture. Joel wasn't happy for some reason. Jean looked surprised, but Sam, she smiled widely and her eyes sparkled a bit. We start our date and Sam and I are having a bit of a blast. We decided to go out bowling before going for ice cream in recommendation from Sam. We got along, but not really enough to say I like her more than a friend. Maybe a second date, solo this time, would be nice. As we're hanging out, I could feel glances from Joel and small smiles from Jean. I know Jean is smiling because Sam is having fun, but I didn't know why Joel was so angry with me. After the date, Joel unloaded on me how I was cringe for bringing Sam a rose. That I was there to entertain Sam, not distract Jean from him. That I dressed too formal and too fancy. I was only wearing a white shirt, flannel overshirt, and jeans with my Converse. He also said I should have stayed at home if I was going to act like I did at the date. I just talked with Sam, shared a meal with her, and went to get her favorite ice cream from her favorite store. He was there and Jean was 100% on board with the ideas. I barely talked with Jean. He had all the playing field for himself. Not my fault Jean was more interested in seeing her friend happy. Horrifying thought says Joel is just salty because he expected to put in zero effort and still be considered the catch between the two of you. Tell Sam you had a great time and you would like to insert her interest here with her next weekend. Good luck to you. Adios Bichacho says, great name, lol, maybe the reason Jean agreed to date your friend was so she'd have an excuse to get Sam out on a date with somebody and Joel is salty about it. Don't worry about it. Sounds like you and Sam had a nice time and Jean is happy that Sam enjoyed herself. Joel is just being insecure. You absolutely should ask Sam to go out solo. Even if you decide she's not for you romantically. It sounds like you guys get along well and could be great friends. Another commenter says it kind of feels like maybe he was just trying to use you to make himself look better. I used to be the, quotes, fat friend to a few insecure pretty people. And sometimes I felt like I was only invited to lift someone else up. Like a fucked up wing woman. The fact that you acted nice and dressed well and looked good is pissing your friend off. Doesn't sound like a good friend to me. Radio Supply says, ha, you brought Riz when he least expected it. Why, were you supposed to sit in the corner? Why does he get to be the main character? Were you supposed to frump and make Sam's night miserable so he'd look good by comparison? No. You were asked to edge a nice girl into dating and you showed her a nice, sincere time and set the bar for her. You did what stand-up guys do. A quality girl doesn't care about receding hair and a bit of body fat. She's looking for boyfriend material. And you brought it. I'm glad you and Sam had a nice time. I'm sure she'd see you again solo. And even if it's not a date, she'd be happy to introduce you to her single friends. I absolutely agree with the comments. It just felt like jealousy all the way through. And from previous stories that we've covered in the past, I implore you to look at your past history with this friend to see if they've shown this kind of behavior in the past. That friend should have been boosting you up rather than trying to bring you down. But what do you guys make of this situation? Have you yourself ever had like a double date where you didn't know the person you was getting involved with? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and just a huge thank you for being here today. Your love, your support, your time, it always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.